Welcome back everybody to the shop today. Behind me I've got a 2018 BMW X5 and we've done a partial wrap on the front with paint protection film and we're going to do the mirrors right now. Welcome back everybody to the shop today. We did these mirrors yesterday. I had one of my guys install the mirrors. We didn't do patterns on it, we did it in bulk. And I'll tell you the reasoning why here in a few minutes, why we like to do bulk on mirrors. But he came in this morning and looked at it, wasn't happy with it. It was lifting in some areas and there were some stretch marks. And so that's due to overstretching or overworking the film. So we pulled those off. I've done that mirror there. I'm gonna go and install this mirror this morning and I'll show you guys how I do it and how we can get it on with one piece, but it's technically one piece with a relief cut. And I'll tell you while I'm installing it why we're gonna do it that way. So let's get started. So when you're working on one of these mirrors, if this was pretty flat and smooth, we could realistically take and lay our film back around over here and then pull and stretch it this way and not have any issues. But because this has, and I'll pull to this side here, because it's almost vertical here and it has an abrupt, almost rounded off horizontal plane here, it makes it kind of difficult. You end up really having to pull and stretch the film, and you can kind of pull and try to stretch it down and take the fingers out here. And we've, in the past, we've tried tacking the film back down here and then giving it a stretch up this way and then pulling it around. But ultimately you end up with stretch lines here. And what we want to try to achieve is back in here, there's a body line back in here, or an end to this panel. We want the film to cover all the way back to there, so when the customer's in the car and they're looking out the window, they don't see this here and then a line, say, right here for the paint protection film. Now on a pattern will be one piece here and then you seam in another piece here. And that's all fine and dandy. That makes it for an easy install. But you end up with a seam, and you can see the seam right here. You won't notice it so much in this area here, but you'll notice it a lot more here. What we're going to do today is we're going to install the film. We're going to start back over here. We're going to tack right along this outer lip here. Actually, probably do a dry tack. Then we're going to pull the film in this direction here and not necessarily pay too much attention here. So this will be a nice gentle pull here and get it to wrap around here. We'll squeegee it all down, make sure this is all locked down, and then we're going to come back and we're going to make a cut with our blade and just cut right under this body line along here all the way back around to there. And then once we're done with that, making that cut, we'll peel the film back obviously, and it'll be all connected to about right here. And then we can take and pull and kind of turn the film down this way, relieving all the fingers here and not having a whole lot of stress or pull through here. So we can kind of take and pull it down and then drop the film back around here into this seam back here, or where the mirror ends, so we can trim it back in there. And realistically you have a tough time seeing that right there, and then out here where it would be really noticeable, you won't see it. So you're going to give the customer maximum protection on the front of their mirror face here, without compromising the integrity of the film by stretching it too much. And then what happens a lot of times when you really stretch the film, it may hold and stick for a day, a week, maybe a couple of weeks, but a lot of times, and I'm speaking from experience, it'll come back and it'll be lifted, or when they do come back, you'll see where it's kind of shrunk back along in areas like this, and it just doesn't look that great. Okay, so we've got the piece of film here that we're going to put on the car. And I've sprayed some solution on here, so I'm going to pull this back. I've removed any solution that's on the back here, so I can do my dry tack. And I'm going to get this so it's pretty close to the edge here, so it gives me extra film to work with up here. Get a nice little dry tack right there. Should be good. We'll spray some solution here.
Starting to do right in the Bible, right? I think you know the things that come on shit, you just walk over. Yeah.
And we'll give this a pull this way. We're not going to pull it too much. Pull this back. We'll get this going down here like so. Get it like that.
Somebody almost nailed somebody.
Squeegee this down like so. Flip this around and put some tack back here.
Nope. Just a little bit right there. Oh, I'm behind the line, so we're good there. Get a tack back here. So now we've gotten it this far. We've pulled the film. We didn't have to pull it a lot and stretch it a lot. So we've got nice smooth coverage along here. Now we're going to take our knife. We'll start back here and we'll cut right along that edge. Let me grab my knife.
If you didn't catch it on the video.
And I'm cutting just below this line right here. Bringing it around. Right to about there. All right, so I've got my cut. I'm going to come back and I'm going to take where I started my cut and we're going to actually really cut the film there. Giving it a deep cut there will allow us to get this separation started here when we start pulling the film back. And it'll come back nice and easy. Take it right to there. Okay. Got that down. We're going to spray some slip back here real quick. Now comes the part. What we're going to do here is take and pull this film this direction and kind of bring it down and around over here. I've got just a little section like that, so we'll take and we don't want to pull it a whole lot. We don't need to pull it a whole lot, just about to right there. There we go. So put a little tack there. We've got that down with minimal stretch. And then we can come back over here and give us a little pull down this way. Now for the sake of the video, I'm going to use a little heat on this and speed up the process. Normally you could probably just let this sit and rest for maybe 15-20 minutes and then come back and do your trimming, but I'm going to put some heat on it and accelerate this, and then we'll start the cuts. so we've kissed that with some heat. Let's take our knife here and we'll start cutting this. And always make sure you're at an angle where you can actually see where you're cutting. Don't just stand, you know, somewhere and kind of guess. Get down on the eye level with where you're cutting and make the cut. We know where to stop back over here. So let's get down here, we're eye level with it. Start our cut right here. And we're going to cut it nice and tight to the film that's on the bottom there. Stopping right where the film ends. Right there. Then we'll pull this back. Nice and clean there. So now we've got a nice clean cut there. So probably the biggest reason why we like to bulk mirrors in the shop. Let me move the camera a little closer here. Is the edges of the mirrors. When you're putting a pattern on, and let's say they have, you know, they have a pattern for this whole thing. So when you put the pattern on, a lot of times you have to kind of pull and stretch and adjust for a seam, or just, you know, pull it, and it ends up pulling it so it's a little short in the center. So when you have your edge of film here, the film may start off right on the edge over here, and then it gets kind of bowed out here, and then we'll come back around and meet the edge over here again. And you can, there's all kinds of ways you can kind of get it to pull back up, but it becomes troublesome, and then you end up with either adhesive disturbances or you overstretch it. A lot of different reasons that it might not go right. But when you do a bulk piece like this and you hand trim it, you're as long as you have a steady hand and you cut it right, you're going to be guaranteed that your customer is going to get a nice clean line all the way across, instead of something that's kind of catty-wampered, unless you've had 15 cups of coffee like I've had today. So we're going to cut this and see how much coffee I've had. So this will start back over here. And I'm going in the valley right now, but I'm going to have to jump out of it here and get up on top. And I'm cutting right next to the crown of this edge. And I'm just kind of taking it slow, not going real fast, not applying a ton of pressure. And I like to have my hand anchored on something, but there's nothing to anchor it to when I'm out here. It kind of steadies it a little bit for me. Got that cut. We'll bring this around here. And when you're pulling film, you never want to pull it this way into the area you just cut, because if you have a miscut, you run the risk of if it didn't cut all the way through, of just tearing your film back out this way. So you always want to pull away from your cut, like so. And now we have a nice clean edge all the way along through here, all the way down to here. It's even, it's right to the very edge of this mirror here, and it's all uniform. And then we'll make the same cut on the bottom here and on the back. And there you have it. Mirror is done. Got a nice clean edge all along here, all the way down through here, along this bottom. And then we're trimmed up back along through here, down around through here. We've got our seam right there, and it looks more like factory. We've got the mirror on now. We've got some nice clean cuts along through here. And then along this edge down here, all nice and clean, all the way around to the back there, and up along through here and along the top. And you can see this gives the customer great protection. We didn't really compromise the integrity of the film by overstretching it, going either this way or going that way. And it looks great. And you don't see a seam line right along through here.
All right, guys, so that's it for today. If this video has helped you out, hit the like button. If it didn't help you out, hit the like button. Subscribe to our channel. We'll catch you